Alright, y'all, I'm sure a lot of you already seen the news. Bassmaster finally made a decision regarding, their limitation on forward-facing sonar. So, Thursday, September 4th, they're going to do a coin flip live with Davey Hyde, Tommy Sanders, Zona, I guess. And they're going to basically determine which events get forward-facing sonar. And it's going to be up to 5. So it'll be half and half to start with, and then the St. Lawrence River for the AOI, the last tournament of the year, they're going to do the coin flip just before the tournament. So with that decision, from what I can remember a few minutes ago of reading the media release regarding the decision, they did what the angler wanted, they did what the fans wanted, as an industry, of course. I'm going to go ahead and say I 100% agree with what they did. So, you guys have probably heard me say before on another social, TikTok, or even here, that I don't really agree that forward-facing sonar is fair chase. To an extent, I think it needed to be limited. If you were going to completely just not allow it, they should have had it for maybe the first year it got real popular, and then after that say, no, we're not doing that. But the thing that I think about, because I'm on both sides of the fence with forward-facing sonar, one thing I think about is your older guys and all that are having to, basically pick up a whole new way and learn how to fish a completely different way than they're used to fishing. And then the other side of me says, well, everybody has the ability to use the same thing, so it's not like one outweighs the other as far as, you just have to have the ability to adapt. The older guys had to adapt when the younger guys have kind of essentially grew up on it in a sense. But like I said, I really applaud Bass for making a decision. Maybe it's not the right decision in some people's minds. Maybe, some people wanted it gone permanently or just no tournaments with it at all. But I think the 50-50 rule will kind of allow the guys that have come up using it to, still kind of hang around or whatever. I'm not going to say they can't catch them without it, because, I'm sure there's guys there that can't do well without it, but there's probably the same amount of guys there that it don't matter whether they have it or not, they're going to do fine without it. Really big decision day for Bassmaster. I applaud them. I think it was the right call with the situation. So now all 3 tours have had limited it in some capacity. MPFL, getting it all. MLF's, 1 period out of the 3, but it just goes to show that, this thing has kind of went way overboard with the technology stuff, and they were basically, their hands were forced into making a decision. I've already seen Randy's video. I like Randy Blockett a ton. He's, he is kind of he's real passionate about, I guess, the classic way of bass fishing is the best way I can put it. He's trying to keep the sport the way it was and has always been. You do it off of instinct, you do it off the unknown, and it's hard to learn it that way, but you get to the top level, you did it because you worked your ass off, not just having money or having, what have you. You earned your way there, and my personal opinion, I think a lot of these guys really haven't had to earn it like the older guys have. But, Bass did what they thought was right, and I honestly couldn't be happier with the decision they made. Because you have all 3 options now. If you don't want to use it at all, MPFL is growing like wildfire. They're going to be right up there. I think they already are up there with MLF, and not quite Bassmaster. Nobody's going to talk Bassmaster. But, you have the ability to go fish MPFL or fish Bassmaster, what have you. Just basically pick which one you want. And we've seen a lot of the, you know, a lot of the Elite Series guys and go over and fish MPFL, and that's awesome. But I think this is going to help Bassmaster with viewership, membership. It's going to get people to watch again. And that's the most important thing, is we're here. Even me, I'm nobody. You have no idea what my name is, anything. We're here to grow the sport. You know, I explained in a couple videos ago that, you know, my whole reasoning behind this is for somebody that can't do what I get to do. You know, even if it's just for a few hours on a Sunday morning, it's for that. So, you know, I think they leveled the playing field the way they needed to, and they're going to make the decision on what tournament gets it and what don't. So, big pat on the back for Bass today. And y'all have any opinions, comments, concerns, disagree with me, call me an idiot in the comments, do whatever. But anyway, hey, y'all have a good one.